Picking up a sandwich with a mask on. Customer to me. Living in fear, huh? Me. Yeah, I work with vulnerable, critically ill, immunocompromised children. So yeah, I'm afraid of killing a child. Thank you. That's one way of putting it. You know, if I was working in those kinds of conditions with those kinds of people, I would also be concerned about possibly getting or giving the virus and killing children. So warranted. Special thanks to Nix, Holly Miller, CJ, Karianne Mori, Karen Duca, Sarah Bear, L, Kipachi, Chase Howard, Maxine Lankow, Devin Kellogg, Top Shelf, Rennie, Thomas Penny, Greyhound, Gravity Gaia, Lillian of the Vale, Emily Potter, and Gay Sheki. Ooh. Sorry if I pronounced that last name wrong. Whew, I almost ran out of breath there. For supporting the channel and supporting my content. Thank you so much, guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are once again returning to r/vaxxhappened. Good. let's just get straight into it, shall we? Why do people who choose not to get vaccinated go to the hospital when they are sick? It's literally filled with people that they don't trust. Agree. I told my husband they should set up tent hospitals for the unvaxxed, but instead of doctors and nurses there to treat them, they have people who did Google searches on how to care for them. Seems only fair since they trust a Google search more than professionals med training. Yeah, no, honestly, that's pretty accurate. I think that makes sense, you know? They don't trust doctors to give them vaccines. Why are they trusting doctors to save their lives? It doesn't really make sense, does it? That's my opinion anyway. And I'm pretty sure that other people share that opinion. New, ivermectin doesn't prevent severe disease from COVID-19 any more effectively than a placebo, according to a new study published by JAMA Internal Medicine. I really wish that was enough to just lay that to rest, but it won't be. Let's be real. It's been a long time of them saying they won't do studies on this because they know it works and they can't have that. There's a study on ivermectin, it doesn't work. That's the end of it, right? To any normal person, that's the end of it. Think. The booster shots were purchased before the variant existed. Do you know, if a factory was producing one COVID vaccine per second, it would take almost 32 years to make 1 billion vaccines. There have been in 2 years almost 3.5 billion doses distributed. He's got us, guys. There it is. The vaccines are fake because you can only make one at a time? Like, if a factory was producing one vaccine per second, that would be a really inefficient factory. That would be shut down. No one's gonna keep that running. They have thousands of factories producing hundreds of thousands of vaccines. That's why there are billions of vaccines. That's not a hard thing to comprehend. It's like saying, oh, if McDonald's only sold one burger per second, then it would take 35 years for them to sell 1 billion burgers. I don't believe that McDonald's is actually selling burgers. They can sell more than one at a time. You're supposed to focus on Ukraine, so you don't focus on the bodies piling up from the vaccine. And here we have just an anti-vaxxer just throwing themselves in it again. They like doing this. They like making themselves look inferior to everyone. Because unlike anti-vaxxers, I am capable of looking at two different issues. I can look at Ukraine and I can look at anti-vaxxers. Just, you know, going by the fact that my last video, in fact, there were lots of subjects and talks of Ukraine. And today we are looking at anti-vaxxers. I can do both. Oh, I'm a regular human being as well. So extremely ordinary, and I can focus on two subjects at once. Anti-vaxxers? Nah, incapable. They can only look at one thing at once. The vax will kill you in 3 to 5 years. We don't know the long-term effects of the vaccine. Anti-vaxxers. This is the interesting thing with this, is the anti-vaxxers love saying we don't know the long-term effects of the vaccine. And the vaccine's been around for a little while now, but also so have hundreds of other vaccines for decades. So we know the long-term effects of similar vaccines, but also the definition of a long-term effect from a vaccine is anywhere from months to years. We've been through months and there have been no effects that have shown within months, and we are approaching years plural and there have been no long-term effects that have shown yet. And also worth noting that anti-vaxxers seem to think that if something has a long-term effect, it means it only becomes apparent apparent after long term. But if you have a long-term effect caused by a vaccine, that almost always shows within a couple of weeks and then lasts for months to years. It doesn't suddenly surface a few years later. That's not how long-term effects work. They surface and then last for that time. Any new zombie movies that want to be believable need to include random people who walk directly up to the zombies and get bitten on purpose because they think getting bitten will help them build immunity against being bitten. They also need to mock people trying to avoid being bitten. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah, no, I've got nothing to add to that. They said it all, really. That is the anti-vax mindset. You can't even say that, like, if a cure for the zombie virus in this movie came out, you could say they would ignore the cure, but you can't even say that they would avoid the zombies before that stage, because they would be like, no way am I not going to the co-op, or no way am I not going to get my hair cut. If zombies are there, so be it. If I get bitten, I get bitten. I'm not putting a cure in my body or staying home. Hell no. My dad has a severe lung disease. Basically, if he got COVID, he wouldn't have long to live. Got into a discussion today with an anti-vaxxer who said, only people with underlying illnesses will die. And I said, so you think my father deserves to die? Their response, has he tried treatment for his sickness? That's genius, Jeremy. Get your fucking vaccine. It is the absolute disregard for anyone that isn't themselves. That is the big thing, right? It's the, oh, but I'm not gonna die from it, so I don't care about anyone else. It's the same thing with the planet. It's the same people that are going, oh, who cares if the planet's dying? I want cheap fuel now. Are the same people going, who care if sick people die? I want to go to the shops now. It's just selfishness. It is just selfishness. Just get vaccinated. It's not hard. If you're running around unvaccinated, telling people God is your vaccine, or you'll put everything in God's hands, then when you get sick, don't go to the emergency room. Go to your church instead. Honestly, I think I've said this in a previous video, but at the very least, if you are unvaccinated, you should be lower priority than vaccinated people, okay? Because vaccinated people actually care, and unvaccinated people are having a whole disregard for their own health. It's the same reason that someone who is addicted to drugs or cigarettes or alcohol can't receive an organ from an organ donor unless they have been clean for a certain duration of time. You are a lower priority for something as important as treatment to someone who actually wants to get better and actually cares. And I think that's just that, really. And I think that makes sense as a system. There is a finite amount of resources. Doctors are already incredibly overworked. So why should they be spending their time helping and overworking themselves, helping people who didn't care to help them? This just gave me chills. Omni, Omega. Okay, so I'll talk about this at the end. Greek for end. Chronos. Greek for time. Omicron is the end of time virus. Get right with God. The devil is about to make his final move. First, before I talk about anything else, how do you get to Omega from Omni? I can understand how you get to Chronos from Chron, but how do you get Omega from Omi? From Omni? He didn't even go Omi, Omega. He went Omi, Omni, Omega. Ignoring that, I've said this in many videos at this point, and I feel like I have to repeat myself every time because it comes up every time. But do you really think that people that are actively trying to cause the apocalypse, a conspiracy that is worldwide, is affecting every country and killing millions of people? Do you think the people behind that would be so dumb as to just put end of times in the name? Of course they wouldn't. It's called Omicron because it's Greek. You don't even have to go to another language here, Timotei, right? I'm gonna keep this in Greek for you so you don't have to do any more research. Omicron is the Greek letter O because variants of COVID have been going through the Greek alphabet. That's it. That's it. Marjorie Taylor Greene said that Joe Biden's State of the Union speech was sponsored by Pfizer. Marjorie Taylor Greene owns stock in Pfizer. Well, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, I wonder how many of these other people also own stock in Pfizer. Because I had my own little spin on this conspiracy I mentioned in a video before. I think that these people, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and by the way, Donald Trump also has stocks in companies like Pfizer. I think they're doing this deliberately. And you know why I think that? Because if everybody got vaccinated and the virus was over, then the pharmacy companies that are making people like Marjorie Taylor Greene money would only have made a couple of vaccines per person, and that would have been the end of it. However, by actively fighting against vaccines, making the virus spread more, making new variations appear, making it spread more, making new variations appear, making it spread more, making more vaccines, more treatments, more hospitalizations worldwide, everywhere. You know what happens? The hospitals and the pharmacy companies all make more and more and more and more money. The more people go to hospital, the more the hospitals make money. The more variations there are, the more vaccines are needed, and the more money is made. People like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who go around spouting anti-vax BS, make so much money from anti-vaxxers getting sick. That's what this is about. It is money, but it's not the way that anti-vaxxers think it is. As we don't need masks anymore, how about removing the security gates from the end of Downing Street? Let's trust people to do the right thing. I totally agree, you know? Boris, if you think people are just gonna do the right thing, which I don't know how you would believe that considering people voted you into parliament, but you know, why are you worried? If people are just gonna do the right thing, there's no reason people would ever do the wrong thing. You don't need security. What are you worried about? People will just do the right thing, right? Oh, you need your security. Okay, so what about the rest of the country? And this is why I'm not willing to get dragged into a heated debate over vaccines with you. There is a plethora of information out there, guys, if you are willing to do the research the way I did. Just for the record, I have done my master's in science epidemiology. I simply don't have time to sit and educate those who are so short-sighted and nasty. If that's the case, you might want to update your LinkedIn profile. It's only showing your BA in music and singing. They walked straight into that one, didn't they? I have a master's in science epidemiology. However, I don't want people to know that. That would look too good on my CV. No. I just want people to know I did music. I want to say nothing against people that did music. I did music performance and music production. So I did music too, but I'm also not a flaming idiot. I beat the COVID in a day. I drink urine every single day. Wow. I eat a plant-based, whole foods, meat, and starch-free diet. I practice semen retention. I am physically fit and healthy and also do yoga. Today I learned that r/urine therapy is a thing. I heard through Twitter that right-wing conspiracy nuts were drinking urine because QAnon said so, and that they were doing that instead of vaccines, but I didn't realize there was a subreddit for it. Every day, I lose a little more faith lost in humanity. Listen up very carefully. I do not wash my hands. I'm sorry, that's how we opened. Wear a mask, social distance, nor do I put experimental chemicals into my body. If you want to become a toxic dump of booster after booster after booster while suffocating yourself daily, knock yourself out. I train outside, inside, and take care of my body with vitamins, exercise, and fresh air. No rushed chemical injections that will only end in sickness and misery. So, obviously I gotta address the elephant in the room is that this guy just declared to the world that he doesn't wash his hands, which is just nasty. But also, if you are healthy and have a balanced diet and take care of your body, why do you need vitamins? Surely you should be getting those through eating healthily and being a healthy person, but you need to take vitamins? That leads me to believe that perhaps your diet isn't as healthy as you think it is because you feel the need to take vitamins. It's an interesting one, that, isn't it? And I wonder where you get those vitamins from, sir. Who is it that manufactures those vitamins and sells them to you? Might be a curious thing to look into. And the final post. Idea. Set aside 15 million Pfizer vaccines. Give them a weird name like hydroxyvermezink. Send to doctors, veterinarians, acupuncturists, etc. Viral marketing campaign calling it the secret COVID cure the government doesn't want you to know about. I think they've just solved anti-vaxxers. Honestly, I really hate that this would work. It bothers me that I'm fully aware that this would work. That makes me it just makes me sad. But that's where I'm gonna end the video, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a subreddit, Brain, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click the join button to join the channel. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm gonna keep making content regardless. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.